Hey, what's going on, guys? Well, a while ago I did a video showing you guys a new rifle that I got, and it was kind of a mystery rifle. Just did a couple shots, and I wanted you guys to guess what it was. Well, I never responded to that. That was a while ago, so it kind of slipped my mind. I was kind of going back and looking at some of the videos, and I realized that I never revealed what it was. So that's what this video is, just talking about it briefly and showing it to you and telling you the brief story behind it. So this is the rifle that you saw in that video. Back up so you can see the whole thing. Alright, and this is a Remington Model 7. Okay, Model 7 was created in 1983. I think it was originally chambered in 7mm, and then soon there were some more calibers available for it. This one is chambered in .243 Winchester. Okay, and this is what that cartridge looks like. Alright, I got this rifle about, I don't know, like maybe 4 or 5 months ago. No, longer than that, maybe 5 or 6 months ago. Anyway, this was the first rifle I ever shot in my life. This was my grandfather's hunting rifle. He actually had 3 hunting rifles. He had this one, which is chambered in .243 Winchester. He also had another rifle, which I'll show you in the future, which I also have, that was chambered in .222, which is very unique and new to me, and shoots amazing. That's actually the furthest shooting rifle that I can shoot accurately. I can shoot that up to 350 yards and nail a 10-inch plate, which is awesome. So we'll talk more about that in the future. But then he also had a little .22, and it's kind of a longer story that I'm not going to talk about right now. But when my grandfather passed away, all of his firearms went to my great uncle Jeff, who took care of him for a long time. It was he really helped out with the details on what to do with the the house and what was going on at the time, and my grandfather's financial stuff and the funeral, and it was just really helpful. And so kind of as like a thank you, my dad gave him all my grandfather's rifles. At the time we were living in New Jersey, where the logistics and legality of keeping all these firearms just wasn't really a possibility. And back then, when my grandfather passed away, I really didn't have much interest in guns. I didn't own any guns, never really shot guns besides when I went to go visit my grandfather. So my great uncle got all his stuff, and then a couple years later he came to visit us, and I was talking about the guns, and that's when he gave me my grandfather's pistol, that little Bobcat, the little Beretta 22. And that really sparked my interest in guns. That was the first gun I ever owned. Then I started, researching it, and I got my first Glock. It was a Glock 17, and that really is what started my whole firearms history. And all those years, I was kind of thinking, like, man, it'd be cool if I had my grandfather's guns, but I knew they were my great uncle's. So I was talking to him about a year ago or so, and I don't get to see him too much. He lives in Pennsylvania, but kind of far the other side of Pennsylvania, and he's a very busy lifestyle. So we don't get to see him all that much, maybe once or twice a year. But I was talking about the guns again, and I said, you know what, I really would love one of my grandfather's rifles. I said, I'd love to buy it back from you. And of course, being family, he's like, nah, you don't have to buy it back. I'll bring you one, or two or whatever. So, for principle's sake, I gave him $1. So technically, I did buy them back, but I bought my grandfather's shotgun, which we'll see in a future video as well, and 2 of his rifles, and this was one of them. And this was one of his more used hunting rifles. My great uncle did keep the 22. The 22 was extremely old. It was something that they both grew up with my great grandfather shooting and stuff, so it had a lot of sentimental value to him, whereas my grandfather's hunting rifle is not so much. The 222 is much older than this gun. Like I said, this was invented in 1983 is when this model came out, and this is one of the earlier production models, but it was, I think, in 86. I forget. I actually wrote it down, the markings and everything. I was able to date this rifle. But yeah, so like a mid-80s rifle. My grandfather mostly did some light hunting, because most of his hunting he did in the 60s and 70s and stuff like that. So this was a little bit later. Did take a couple deer with this, I'm sure, but don't really know for sure. All I remember is that this was the first actual rifle that I shot. When I was about, I don't know, 13 years old, I went to stay with my grandfather for a week and help him out around his property. And at that time, I'd work all day long, and my reward was twofold. One was getting to ride the ATV, which I absolutely loved. Still love riding an ATV. It's a lot of fun. And the second one was shooting. And the first time I ever shot a rifle, he broke this out. And I shot it and I was blown away. I'm like, this is so much fun. And then very soon after that, he broke out the 22, just because the price of ammo. And so we shot the 22 all day long. But this was literally the first gun I ever remember shooting. And it was such a cool experience, and it's amazing that I'm able to have it. And this is something that will never be sold. This is going to be, you know, handed down to my kids eventually one day. It's just really damn cool. I really love it. This has an old Bushnell scope on it. It's a Scope Chief. All right, if I could give you a close-up of that right there. All right, I think it's a, what, 3x9? And it works great. I have it sighted in. This was a very dirty rifle when I first got it back, just because of storage. You know, it hasn't been used in many years. And it cleaned up very nicely. It took me about an hour and a half, but I got this thing looking pretty damn new. The only thing I've done to it is I slapped on just a cartridge carrier and some quick swing mounts. All right, quick release. But this is the original sling my grandfather had on it. Walnut stock. This is essentially the Model 7, from what I understand, is a Model 700, but shorter. Same action, you know, I believe it's the same bolt even, or same receiver rather. It does have a drop-down magazine, internal box magazine. All right, this is, the capacity is I think four rounds plus one, and it's just really, really nice. I can shoot very accurately with this. Just kind of plinking around 100 yards, no problem whatsoever. I usually shoot, I have a 12-inch plate and I have a 10-inch plate, and a lot of times I'll use the 12-inch plate because I do a lot of pistol stuff too. And at 100 yards, every time, can't miss. Put it out to about 150 yards, miss a couple times. You know what I mean? I'm no pro at shooting. I like to shoot. You know, anyone out there, of course, can learn more and shoot better with time. But and I'm definitely newer to shooting like a hunting rifle. But it's just awesome. Really, really nice. I think it's 6.5 pounds without the scope. It's just a beautiful rifle, and I really love it. And obviously it has a special meaning to me, not only being the first gun I was ever able to shoot, but just being my grandfather's. You know, it has a lot of sentimental value. So it's pretty special to me. Pretty damn cool. They still do sell the Model 7. I actually wrote down different calibers. It's still chambered in 243, but also in 260, 7mm, and 308. And that's pretty much it. I mean, if you're interested, it's a cool rifle. But there's a lot more people out there who know a lot more about hunting rifles. I don't currently hunt, as most of you know. So, you know, it's good to have. And I did stock up a little bit on ammo for, you know, SHTF type situation. It's good to have a long range rifle. You know, I have my AK, which is great. But, and although, you know, you can shoot out to 100 yards pretty easily, if I have to reach out a little further, it's nice to have this. And the other rifle, which you'll see in the future, and the shotgun, which is a semi-automatic shotgun. So stay tuned for those videos. I'm doing a little bit of shooting this winter, but not nearly as much as last year. It's just time constraints. I have a lot of stuff going on all the time. I do love getting all bundled up in all my gear in the winter and going out and shooting. It is fun, and it's a lot easier to pick up my my brass as well, because I could see where it hit the snow and melted through. But I would imagine a lot more shooting videos coming this summer, you know, when it's a little bit warmer out. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Just wanted to touch upon that for people who are still kind of wondering or thinking back and going, what was that gun? Yeah, it was a Remington Model 7. I think a bunch of people guessed the gun, but got the caliber wrong, and a few people did actually get the exact gun. It is a Model 7 and 243 Winchester. So awesome to the gun guys that knew that. But yeah, just very special firearm. So, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Take care.